Okay, so this one is it's a it's inspired with Matrix Energetics 2 point. So we're going to start with that, and then we'll get right to our peace process for our group, Atomic Success Secrets. So what you can do if you like is just think about like this is how it came to me this morning. Think about what you would like whatever it is, you can think about what you'd like, and we'll just take a moment to kind of consider that. Okay. Actually, we might as well use all of our technology. Let's squeeze the distal end of your right index finger 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It goes straight to your subconscious. And then we have the white window frame, and your right eye is looking through it. And what do you want? Okay. And the way this came to me this morning was, there's that thing, Chat GPT, and you can type up some kind of idea and then say, hey, can you make it better? Or can you do something with this bit of information? Or, you want to kind of make it dial in. And so we're going to use that kind of technology because this with the matrix, it's the idea is that out of all the space that all of space occupies in space, yeah, there's information. And like the quantum physics guys a couple of years ago, I think there was 2 different groups that found this and won the Nobel Prize. And they found that with all their math, scientists are funny like that. With all their math, they found that reality isn't quite what we have been led to believe. It seems to be more like every dot of the universe, to paraphrase those guys, every dot of the universe is infinity. And yet there's an infinite number of dots. So out of all the dots, like out of all of the space that all of space occupies in space, every little dot, like every eyelash, every bit of smoke, every little bit of a cloud, every idea, in every dot, there's infinity. And my friend Kim Burnham used to say, what's the distance? What's the distance of the California coast? So, you go all the way to the top of the coast. Where is that? I guess it's Trinidad, like Arcata, Trinidad. You get the top of the coast of California and the bottom of the coast, Chula Vista, or San Ysidro, actually, below San Diego. And you measure it, and then you think, oh, this is the length of the coast. It's finite number. But then if you magnified it, you see like, oh yeah, that straight line isn't straight. There's a little bend to it. So you remeasure it and it's a bit longer. And then you magnify it some more, and it's like, oh, that straight line isn't straight. It also has a bit of a curve to it. So it's a bit longer. And of course, you can take that magnification into infinity. And at every magnification, you find out it's actually longer than the last measurement, and it just goes to infinity. So it's like the length of the coast, the finite length from the top of California to the bottom of California is infinity. Isn't that interesting? And then, it's been said the Holy Spirit resides within you. Jesus said that. And it sounds kind of like the same thing. The Tao, in that, so we have this finite body, and in the finite body, there's infinity. And if the quantum physics, are right with the spiritual traditions that say the same thing, it's like in every little dot, there's infinity. And so out of all the possibilities we're going to treat that like it's a Chat GPT kind of thing that can search and find all the just the perfect bit of information. And we're going to use it with the Matrix Energetics 2 point. And the idea of matrix energetics is it's I might have the exact words a little flipped, but it's this idea of uncollapsing the wave function. And that idea is, there's in the quantum physics worlds, they talk about in an atom, there's an electron cloud, and it's an electron cloud of possibilities. This is how these scientists do in math talk about the electron clouds. They're not like, there's 3 electrons going around the atom. There's an infinite number of possibilities. And then you look and you've got one. But you can't measure the speed and the place that it's at the same time. And then when you stop looking, it's infinite again. And the quantum physics guys talk about the electrons are popping into and out of existence. But they're doing it so fast that when we just watch, it looks like it's just seamless, like they're always here. But what they notice is, wow, they pop into and out of existence. And when you're not looking, it looks like a wave of infinite possibilities. And when you're looking, it looks like a single thing. Isn't that cool? So out of all the space that all of space occupies in space, with all the dots of infinity, we're going to 2-point between your heart and one of those dots, that one. And then we're going to all let go on 3, the power of the group, and we're going to go to love. And I was talking to one of my clients yesterday about the peace process, a one-on-one in-person client, and she does a lot of work, NLP, hypnosis. She's also a massage therapist. She's really dialed in, and she loves IMT. And she was saying, I told her about the peace process, and then she described her thing. I think it's from a yoga tradition, but she goes, oh, we call that Shanti or something like that. And she described the exact same process that we use. Like you poke the bear and then you go feel the feelings without the labels. And then she says, they say 2 things to it, something about I love you and something else. And I said, oh, well, we say send it love. Isn't that cool? So it's like, and of course, Eckhart Tolle has the same process. And Michael A. Singer has the same process. And David R. Hawkins has the same process. And Raphael Kushner has the same process. Jesus and Buddha, they all have the exact same process. My Qigong master has the same process. Stay out of your thoughts, or let go of all unnecessary thoughts. Feel your body inwardly. The entire body is harmonized with qi. It's the Wanyan qi. It's that infinite that has no form until you look. So we're going to take all that and we're going to all just drop a pebble from our head. It's the way to get out of our thoughts. And on 3, we'll let go. 1, 2, 3. And go to a feeling of some experience you've had that is just great joy, ecstasy, like just the best of the best of the best. It's whatever that is for you, the feeling of that. And just for fun, let's just do it again. So we'll take an intention. Like Ming Tong says, for what does your heart desire? So let's just think about that. For what does your heart desire? What do you want? And we'll even take it another step further. And having all of that, having everything you want, the whole thing, the whole enchilada, as they say in Texas. What would that do for you? And out of all that, what would be the best part of having all of that? What's the best part of that? What's it really about? And now let's take a little pebble from the head, and on 3, we'll let go. 3, 2, 1. And because some new people just joined in this instant, let's do that together for everybody. Let the pebble drop. 3, 2, 1. And then I'm going to use a technology that I use with matrix energetics. I like to use it before sessions so that the session is really just rocking. And I'm going to do it with a story while I do it. Ooh, wee. So yeah, don't make it too dramatic, Ralph. Okay, so here's here's one story. I was when I first got here in 2014 or so, somewhere around there, I thought, let me work for another physical therapist a couple of days a week, kind of make a little extra money. I found one that did cranial sacral work. It looked like good. I did a demo of stuff. I was way using Matrix at the time because I couldn't travel around with all my IMT books. And I had a client. I was still needed a co-treatment person because my insurance verifications hadn't been set up through their clinic. So I was working with a PT assistant, and this client came in who had scleroderma. It's a death sentence diagnosis, and she had already had a couple of surgeries or so of to widen her esophagus trachea area because she kept turning to cement. It turns your body to cement basically, and so there was tightening up again, and she was yellow, and she came in with a cane, and we had 40 minutes, and I was already put on suspension. Like they said, Ralph, do not do what you do in such a way that basically like it's freaking out the owner. She's concerned the referral sources are going to get freaked out. But here I was with this woman and the therapist. So she was working, doing her light touch stuff around her neck. And the woman was moving her fingers, and they were very, very stiff, and she was yellow. And the tissue, her skin was really hard and yellow. And and she was in a pretty bad spot. Like she was really like beyond concern because it's like another surgery. What are we going to do? And so I went in the corner of the room and I just did what I do, which is what we're doing right now. And it always shows up in interesting different ways. And in that day, it showed up as what's called a sigil, which is me just moving around. Whoa. Ooh. And so I'm going to do that for all of us right now. I'm just going to let go. You guys can just be in that heart space. Think of the most joyful thing. Thank you. Because in every dot of the universe, if there's every dot of the universe has infinity, then every little micro movement of my fingers is accessing an infinity with just the perfect information. And every little movement of my body is going through infinities of infinities. Sounds weird, and you could think about it and try to figure it out, but it's more like you're just playing in this soup of infinite possibilities. And every little dot, every so often, you just notice that you land on one, like you watch one electron that has infinity in it. And within that dot is that. And so I was doing this thing with this lady, and the therapist was like, oh my God, look at your hands, look at your skin. And it wasn't yellow, and it was all supple. And then she was bending her, flexing her wrist, like making fists, and she could make a fist. And she was starting to laugh, and she was like, oh my God, what is going on? And she, at the end of the session, she stood up and she was swiveling her hips, like just making little hula hoop movements, and she was laughing. And she walked out and she forgot her cane. And then she came back. And then one of the problems with Matrix, if there's a problem, is it just looks so weird. And so the next weekend, I came back to work on the next Monday. Nobody was in the clinic except the owner, and she fired my butt. She said, Ralph, I cannot sleep with you here. And I'm like, oh, come on, come on. But I was also kind of relieved. So I went to my truck, got some chocolate, drove home, helped my father-in-law work on our house, and thought, well, I guess that's that. So I don't know. Maybe we don't always have to say what we're doing. I don't know. But when I don't know what to do, when it's like I didn't have 100 hours of IMT and instructions to go gluten-free and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, what do I do? This is what I do. And a lot of times I do it before I show up anywhere. So I do it ahead of time. Okay, and we'll do here. And then this one is a really cool one I've seen before that I used before. I'm going to go to Torrey Pine State Beach in La Jolla, looking out over the Pacific Ocean with all those dolphins on the cliffs. Everything you want. Total perfected essence. And thanks for being here. And let's all go to that feeling of joy, something that just brings you joy. Okay, we'll do this. Since there's one more person loading up right now, we'll do it just for her, all of us together. So everything you want. 3, 2, 1. So I'll put this in the portal and then we'll Atomic Success Secrets portal. Probably put it in as a separate little video underneath the full recording. So now we'll get to one-on-one work with each person and do this super powerful peace process or whatever else shows up. And here we go.